What's up? Black men have to master their eating habits and their sexual energy to be a creator. You are a black man trying to self improve and gain a grounded identity in being a black man. I have a deep dive guide on all the things from learning who to look up to in black history, eating healthier, becoming more financially literate, having a more calisthenics based workout, and also coming together with other black men on a daily basis to self improve and to gain that grounded identity with each other. It's important nowadays that me as an individual that I be the strongest version of myself as a black man, and it's important for you as a black man watching this that you become the strongest version of yourself. My guide will help you internalize the concepts of self-improvement and gaining that grounded identity, because at this point it's required for every black man who wants to be the best version of themselves to be the strongest version of themselves, because that's the only way the black community is going to have a chance. So in the bio section of my YouTube channel, the click on my channel, then click on that link. Internalize that. Internalize that and be the strongest version of yourself. I want every black man out to be. I want every black man out there to be the strongest version of themselves and to come together with other black men, because that's the only way we're gonna really have a chance. Now, when we dive into being a creator as a black man, you have to get away from the things that make you a slave. Eating unhealthily and eating sugar and junk food and pies and cakes and processed food all the time, that's gonna destroy you from the inside out. That's gonna destroy you from the inside out, man. I dive deep into a lot of medical stuff, bro. This is why I think it's very important that we prioritize this, because it not only, obviously gives our physical body that chance to be resilient and strong, but when you have a strong, resilient body, you're going to have a strong, resilient mind. And oftentimes, when you catch black men who are out of shape, they're weak mentally, right? They don't prioritize the right things in life. You need to prioritize your health over making money, over all of that, you know? And when we dive into sexual energy, a thing that's another thing that's heavily addictive in the black community and that we have no control over. That's one of the things that it takes you out of your creative mind as well. It makes you basically, when you eat whatever you want and you have all the sex and you masturbate all the time and you watch porn all the time, what that's doing is producing a mentality where you're just a slave. You don't care about nothing else. You're basically like a cattle, or like an animal. Like they just got you to they feed you, and then they let you reproduce, and then you're just out there. No, we're bigger than that. We're deeper than that. Human beings are more complex, and we're superior to that. But we have to choose to be superior to that. We have that side of ourselves that's superior, higher mind, civilized, can do many great things intellectually, and then we have that side where it's just sex and food, right? Because that's what really satisfies us on a primal carnal level. We need a lot of sex, we need a lot of food, and that's what's going to keep us satisfied. But what that does is that creates weak, docile, uh uh dull men who don't have a lot of creative energy. Don't have a lot of not don't have a creative mentality. And when it comes to being a creator, man, you have to tap into where you have full control over yourself. You don't have full control over yourself, you're not a person that's that creative, and you're going to be limited as to how far you can make it in this world as somebody who's trying to create something, trying to build something, trying to make something. Right? It's not about what's in your bank account. It's not about superficial metrics. I'm just talking about how well you can control what you eat and your sexual energy. When you can control those two things, you pretty much put yourself at an advantage when it comes to making something on your own, creating something, having that discipline, because that's also a very disciplined thing when you can control what you eat, when you can control who you're gonna sleep with, or your sexual energy overall. When you can control those things, this puts you in the mentality where you have control. Think about how many black men actually have full control over themselves. An extremely small amount of black men probably have full control over themselves, right? Because it's not an easy thing, and I'm not trying to make it seem like it's easy, but I think that it's required for us to get what we want in this world, to gain power in this world, and to be respected in this world. When we have a lot of black men who got 8 baby mamas and all this type of stuff, and they're fat and overweight, and they don't have anything built for themselves, and they be 35, 40, 45, 50 years old. It's sad to see because you know that that's a product of them not being in control of themselves. Because as a black man, we all know what we need. We know what we need to be doing, but sometimes our culture will say, no, you need to only do this to be cool. You don't need to care a lot because sometimes your environment, the black community will say, if you're trying too hard, if you're trying to be smart, if you're trying to create something and build something, and you take life super serious, you're corny, you're lame, you're gay, something's wrong with you, right? But that's the problem. This is what keeps us in a place where we're never achieving anything. We're never our population is staying small. Like, we rather stay in the filth and the self-destruction and the chaos and the violence and the negativity. We rather stay in that because it's cool, right? But being prosperous and making more money and having more kids and having a higher quality life and all these type of things, those things, and making a lot of money and being hardworking, those things, those boring to the black community because it's too straightforward, it's too perfect to them. We want to have chaos and ups and downs, and uh the black man going to jail, the black woman being promiscuous. We like that more. Black people, a lot of times, we like that more. And the reason is why we like that more is because we're raised into it. We think that's normal for us. We think that's being a black person. You gotta be like this. You have to do this. You have to have all these negative traits and to be a black person. Because you would hear people, like, one common thing you would hear is, "Oh, you sound white. You sound this. You sound that." When in reality, it's people just it's a lot of black men out there, black women who sound proper, who sound like they know their language well. They know how to speak English good. You get what I'm saying? And that's the thing. Like, we rather speak the language bad and not know how to say stuff and sound inarticulate. And we associate that with being black. And people want to act like black culture is something big and special and we're powerful. No, we're not. People laugh at us. Other cultures laugh at us because they don't take us serious because it's not really a culture. It's just a melting pot of just all these negative traits that you're going to associate with being a black person, you know? So I say culture, I say black culture, black community. It's barely that, It's barely that because it's so negative, because it's destroying us. A culture in a community is supposed to be people that are coming together, people that live by a certain way of life. Black people don't have that. We live by self destruction. We live by destroying each other a lot of times, So that's pretty much all I got to say, man. Peace out.